Hi Flosstube, my name is Caitlin and this is Cats and Horror and Stitching. Uh, Welcome back. It is February 15th, so happy belated Valentine's Day to everyone. Um, and yeah, middle of February. It's very spring-like here right now, despite tons and tons of snow, but it's very quickly melting. It actually went up to 8 degrees Celsius for uh, everybody out there. We do weather in Celsius in Canada. Yeah, which is very unlike. I think it beat the record for February 15th. So yeah, snow is melting a lot, but it's still the middle of February and it's going to freeze again because it's way too early for spring. But it has been really nice the last week or so with lots of sun and above zero temperatures, which has been a nice little break. And it's nice to see the giant mounds of snow going down quite a bit. Yeah, it's been nice. I know it's going to be winter again soon because this always happens. We always get a little bit of a defrost in February and then it freezes and we get another, probably end of March, beginning of April before actual spring shows up. So yeah, I wish I could say there was something interesting going on, but there is not. But I do have quite a bit to show you. I haven't done a wide variety of things in the last 2 weeks, but I have done a lot, and I've made quite a bit of progress on a lot of projects. I'm working at home again since the new year, so that allows me a little bit more stitching and now knitting time without a commute and on my lunch hour and stuff like that. So yeah, I get a lot more done now. And you can see I have my friends over here. These guys live down in my living room most of the time, but they're usually on the floor or something, but I propped them up here. This was Halloween Squishmallow. I got each of my kids a different Halloween Squishmallow, and I got this little devil for me. And then Santa brought me this plague nurse 2 Christmases ago. So yes, so she also lives down here. So yeah, so I have no new starts. I have no finishes. I have no finished objects. I really need to work on that. Actually, I'm just realizing when I say that I should have finished the sushi cat for my son so that I could hang it up, but I haven't. I'm starting to put anything I finish in a little basket with the intention of fully finishing it. And because it's in a basket away, then I forget that it's there and don't. So yeah, I should do that. But I will show you what I have worked on over the last 2 weeks. So the main thing I've been working on, you might remember, let me dig out the sheet. This is a project in my kitty bag. And this is a project I am making for my friend. I never seem to have the sheet that has the picture. But you may remember from a previous episode that this is... Did I say my name? Hi, I'm Caitlin. My pronouns are she, her. I can't remember if I said that at the beginning of the video. So if I didn't, then there you have it. And if I did, sorry. Anyways, so this is a full coverage that I'm doing for a friend for her 40th birthday coming up this summer. And it is The Martian, the book / movie. If you've read, I haven't read the book. I have seen the movie, so you may remember it. The movie had Matt Damon, who I always enjoy. So yeah, I've gotten quite a lot done. I've been trying to work on this as much as possible because, as I said before, I'm hoping her birthday is mid-August, but I am hoping to get it done before July 2nd. Before the first beginning of July. So I am working on this quite a lot. I got this, I almost said paper, not paper. I got this gridded Ada from Millions of Stitches on Etsy. She's a seller out of Toronto. And so each square is 100 stitches. So this is the first page that I am working on. You can see now I'm getting into, this is the sky, I'm getting into the hills. Each box is 100 stitches. So I've been trying, not really succeeding, but trying to do 600 stitches a week. So 6 boxes. So I worked on it a bit more today. So I have 6, 12, 18, 6, 12, 18, 24, almost 3,000 plus done since the beginning of the year. I didn't start this right at the beginning of the year, though. I started it a week or two into the new year. But I think I'm doing okay. I haven't actually recalculated to see if I can finish on time, but I'm hoping that if I just keep going the way I'm going, it should be good. It's pretty easy stitching because it is a lot of big blocks of color, and like long lengths of the same color over and over. So yeah, it's going pretty well. I've devoted a lot of time to this. So hopefully I get it done. It actually occurred to me while I was working on this last week that we're in February. I should be working on February, and I haven't at all. I really should, because I do want to work on my February piece from last year, which are my flamingos. But because I'm trying so hard and on a deadline for this one, I'm reluctant to put it aside and work on something else. So we'll see. I do want to get it out, because that piece I really only work on a bit every year. And if I don't work on it in the 1 month that I usually work on it, then it's going to take, it may never get done. So we'll see. Maybe next week or this weekend I'll get that one out. That one I also have in Pattern Keeper. This one I didn't put in Pattern Keeper, even though it's a full coverage, because it isn't really confetti heavy, and so it's pretty easy to follow between a pretty good pattern and the gridded Ada. It's easy to work on. I did end up using Pattern Keeper for my flamingos because it is very confetti and it's not full coverage. So it's just a little easier to keep track of what I'm working on. So yeah, so this one, I can't really remember where I was the last time I showed it to you. I don't think I was very far. I've done quite a lot in the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I will put that aside. The Martian. Oh, put the wrong one aside. It's this one, the cat. We're here. I'm going to put it on the floor so it's out of the way. So the next one I worked on is in my nice little book bag. And both of these bags are by Gamma's Treasure Shop, which is an Etsy shop out of Canada. I believe around Toronto or the GTA area. So this is my Rainbow Garden, which is by Buena Pieza. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not pronouncing that. Buena Pieza on Etsy. So this one I got a milestone for. I finished the first page. So it is split across 4 pages, and I finished the first one. So, oh, there's lots of random threads. I'm carrying lots of threads over because I'm trying not to cut everything. But yeah, it's really, really cute. Let me scoot up a little bit so I can show you closer. These tiny little mushrooms, I love those with the little eyes, and then the ghost. And yeah, it's just really, really pretty. I do really want to finish this one. I say that about everything. Obviously, all floss tubers do, right? We want to finish everything. There's only so many hours in a day, though. But I do want to finish this soon because I know exactly where I'm going to put it. And when I do work on it, it does stitch up really quickly. So, yeah, it's really pretty. And I'm getting into some of the, it does, I don't think I was able to show you a picture of it, but it sort of goes along in a rainbow. So we've got like the yellow flowers and then the orangish and then the darker orange and then the red, and we're starting to get into like the reds and pinks down here. So I don't know whether I'm going to go to this page. Is it that page? Yes. This page over here, because it does go a page over here, or whether I will go down and see some of the other colors. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, so 1 page done. 1 page out of 4. So put that aside. Oh, and I forgot something. So give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I forgot something downstairs. So this is in my pumpkin bag that I made myself. So another one. Oh, I'm out of breath from doing the stairs. That's bad. Another one I worked on, and another milestone. So this is my RBG piece. So it's all black. And here we go. I finished the first page. This is another one that's over 4 pages. So you can see it's stitching up well. You can see a bit more of her actual silhouette now, or in the back of her bun. And again, this is another one that's pretty simple and fast to do when I work on it, because right now it's just black. It's also not a very big piece. It is split on 4 pages, but like this is the first page. I started into the second page, but the second page is not very much because it goes like down here. So it's only like down this way. So again, just like the Rainbow Garden, if I work on this a bit more, it probably will get done pretty quickly. But because I've been devoting a lot of time to the Martian, this has not been getting as much. But I'm trying. And this one is on 14 count. 14 count Jazz from 14 count Ada Jazz from Picture This Plus. And I believe I got this on 1, 2, 3 stitch. The garden, Rainbow Garden, is just on some black 14 count Ada that I got at Michael's. So there you go. And that is all I have stitched in the past 2 weeks. I'm trying to think, did I stitch on anything else? No, I didn't. Yeah, that is because I've spent an enormous amount of time knitting. So if you've watched the last couple of Flosstubes, you'll know that I was never a knitter up until a month ago. And now I'm obsessed. So my first knitting project was I started just a blanket. I'm not using any pattern. I just got a whole bunch of balls of yarn in a colorway that I really liked. It's one of those transitional, it goes through a bunch of different colors, really big balls of yarn. And yeah, I've just been working my way through, and I've done a lot. So to start with, I just started, because I'm calling it my I'm learning to knit blanket, and it's just going to be as big as the 4 balls of yarn. And then I made it, I think I cast on about 250 stitches to start. Oh, look, someone's coming to visit. Hello, kitten. She really likes the couch. Hello, did you come to visit? Kitties just had their dinner, so. Oh, I wish you could hear her. She's got a very loud purr. Hang on. Can you hear that purr? Okay. Oh, and now we're going to chase. No. Okay. Oh, and my dog is barking outside, but he can stay outside right now. Yeah, so I've done a lot of work on the blanket. So the first sort of cycle through the 5 colors, I did the knit stitch, and then the next cycle through the 5 colors, I practiced the purl stitch, and then the next cycle, I did the knit and purl rows to get the stock, I believe it's called the stockinette stitch, the like traditional, what you expect to see when you see something knitted. So I finished that, and I wanted to learn something new, so I looked up a YouTube tutorial, and I just typed in, knitting stitches, and picked one that looked relatively easy, which ended up being the seed stitch. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm on Instagram at Cats and Horror and Stitching Oh My, and I post a lot of pictures about all of my stuff that I'm working on and my cats and a lot of it, the movies and TV shows that I'm watching, and sometimes books and sometimes thrift stuff. I post a lot, really. That's probably why I'm never going to be, I was thinking about this, tangent, I was thinking about this, probably why I'll never be one of those YouTubers who have, you know, 1 million followers and subscribers and whatnot. Is I think to be that famous, you tend to have like a niche. You have to find the one thing you do and then stick to the one thing you do. You're a booktuber, or you're, I don't know, a crafter, or you're a thrifter, or you do one thing, and then that's your whole identity. And that's not me. I do a lot of stuff, and I want to talk about a lot of different stuff. And so my Instagram, which started long before my YouTube, initially started as for my first cat, Penny. And then it became about Penny and the horror movies I was watching. And then it evolved into Penny and horror movies and my cross stitching, and then all of my cats, and then the thrifting stuff I bought. And now there's knitting and then books. So I talk a lot about a lot of different things because I have a lot of things that interest me, and they kind of overlap a lot of different things. I mean, horror movies, horror books, horror TV series, podcasts. I love to thrift, but I tend to thrift a lot of stuff for my walls, which includes a lot of cross stitch. So yeah, I mean, all of my interests, I guess, kind of overlap a bit, but yeah, anyways, really long tangent there. Yeah, so if you go on my Instagram, you will see a close-up of some of my seed stitch. So that is what I'm working on now, and I'm getting there. So this is what I have got so far. It's getting quite big. It's going to cover the whole screen. So this is what I have so far. You can't see me. So this is one full ball of yarn, and then I'm, I don't know, maybe half done the second one. I found nice, I don't have any nice knitting bags like I do my cross stitch project bag. So this is just in an Ardane's bag, but it works pretty well. I put my big ball of yarn in the bag on the floor and then just pull it out as I'm working. But I will show you my knit stitch. Obviously, let me get closer. Obviously not perfect because I am learning. And I've kind of messed up a few places, but it is pretty cool. I love the feel of it because it's all like knobby and bumpy. You can see if I can get a flat section to show you, but so yeah, I'm enjoying doing it. It's easy. It's just knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then the next row you knit your purls and you purl your knits, and it makes this little bumpy pattern. So yeah, so I did the orange, and then it goes to the red, and then the gray, and then it'll do blue and the mustard yellow. And then after I finish doing all of that in the seed stitch, I will have to figure out something else to do, some other stitch. I will probably do the same thing. I'll just look something up on YouTube and practice it. But yeah, so I should really measure how long this is going to be. I wonder if I hold it up this way, I hope it doesn't fall off my needles. But it is going to be quite a big blanket. You can see, I mean, that's this end to there, all the way to there. So yeah, it's going to be quite big. Stop attacking my yarn. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think I also really like it because since I'm not using a pattern, I don't have to pay attention really to anything. So when I'm watching TV or whatnot, I can actually turn the lights down really low and just knit and watch. I don't have to be looking at a pattern and need enough light to like see my stitches. I can just go. Excuse me. So yeah, so that's why I've done a ton of knitting and not so much cross stitch. It's just easy. I don't have to look at a pattern for this, so it's a lot faster. I can also do this while I'm working, which is nice. I can sit at my desk, and if I'm in, a meeting and I'm just listening, I can sit, with it sort of under the level of the camera and knit, and I'm still listening. I can still pay attention. It's a way to keep my hands busy, and yeah, so that's good. It's getting too big for me to actually take anywhere. This would be a lot to cart around if I wanted to stitch elsewhere, but yeah, I really like the colors, and I'm realizing it matches the sweater a lot. It looks like a skirt. But so then my last thing that I worked on was my other knitting project. So I showed you in the last video, I bought a whole bunch of yarn and I plan to make a cardigan. I did post down in the comments down below in my last video, I posted the link to the cardigan I was making, but I'm doing it differently. I'm following a little bit, but I changed a lot because after I started working on it, I realized it called for, I believe, 8 or 9 millimeter needles, and so it was, and with the thread or the yarn I'm using, it was making like very loose stitches, so there were kind of like holes. It was supposed to be like a summer cardigan, I guess, but I had so much trouble doing it. I must have started the ribbing 6 or 7 times and ripped it out because, well, first of all, I was doing the ribbing in black, so even with the lights on full, I couldn't easily see whether I was actually doing the count properly. I would finish several rows and look at it, and I was like, I can't, like, does it actually look like ribbing? But there's big holes, so you couldn't see the ribbing really easily. Maybe if I'd been using a different color, it would have been easier for me to see. But yeah, I must have ripped it out 6 times. So I ended up ripping the whole thing out for the last time, and I went down to, so it's not light, it's medium weight yarn. This is it. Got my needle stuck in it. I ended up going down to a 4.5 millimeter needle, which is what is recommended for this size. Is it? Yes, I believe so. Oh, maybe not. Well, it said 5 millimeter. I don't think I could find a 5 millimeter, so I went down to 4.5. I have all of my mom's knitting needles right now. And I started with that, and I just, before you come after me in the comments, I used the same idea of the pattern, but I increased it. So I think I was supposed to cast on something like 72 stitches, and instead I cast on like 88 or something like that, which I know is not, it's still going to be smaller than it would have. Hey, it's kind of an experiment. I'm seeing how it goes. But so far, I'm pretty happy with it. So using the 4.5 millimeter, I started again with the black to do the ribbing, and this time it worked. This time I could see the ribbing pattern, it worked, and I was able to actually continue. So I will show you what I have. So I have worked on this quite a bit, not as much as the blanket, but it's still attached to the black ball. But this is what I have so far. So the idea, here we go. There you go. So you can see, hey, ouch, stop it. So you can see there, well, maybe you can't see, but the ribbing, it turned out pretty well. I'm an expert at ribbing after doing it so many times. But I already realized I made a mistake. I changed the pattern a bit, but the pattern was still supposed to be so you have this sort of ribbed along the bottom and then ribbed along the edge. And I didn't realize till after I'd done a couple of colors that it's actually supposed to be ribbed along this edge as well, and I didn't do that. But that's okay. So the idea of the pattern was you make these two pieces that are going to look somewhat like this. The pattern itself was just a one color. It was like the pictures. It was a white. But the idea was to make two pieces like this, extremely long. I think it was something like 40, knit until it's 40 inches, and then add the second ribbing on the top. And then you would sew them, and it would sort of sew it up the back, and then they go over the front, and then you'd sew closed under here. So it's like a big kind of a shawl cardigan. So I still want to do that. I'm not sure how it will work since I didn't do the ribbing on this side. I'll have to be able to see if I can perfectly line up the colors or not. So, I mean, I changed it so it is an experiment. It may not work out, but I'm pretty happy so far. I mean, just for size, it is reasonable if you think, I know it's not long enough yet, but width-wise, it wasn't supposed to be really long on the arm. So if you think going over my shoulder, it starts there, and it's kind of squeezed onto this needle. I could probably stretch it out a bit more, but I don't want it to fall off my needle. So yeah, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm still really learning how to do the color switch. So the between rows. Okay. Technical difficulties due to Kat. She grabbed a hold of the wire for my microphone. So yeah. Oh, and one plague nurse down. Okay, there we go. She did that, and I picked up the camera, and then I proceeded to talk for, I think, 10 minutes before I realized that it was not recording. So let me see if I can remember what I was saying. Yes, so doing the stripes was easy enough. It's not difficult to change. Figuring out how to change thread within the same row was a little more involved. I wouldn't say difficult. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I didn't find the right tutorial on how to do it. But you can see down here, it's a little wonky. At first, I was trying to go between the black and the purple without having to cut either thread, but then it was really not. You can see there's holes. It just was not working. So then I started cutting the threads, and that worked a little bit better. It's still not perfect. I have a feeling what I might end up doing when I'm finally done is going through and probably just using some black thread to actually just stitch it so it's a little nicer. But it's not perfect. I couldn't see this down here and how kind of messy it is until I'd gotten quite a bit up, and it started to flatten out as you move up. It's a little scrunched as it's on here. So, but as I went, it's gotten better. So yeah, it's pretty good. If you're wondering why these colors and this pattern, there is a cardigan that I saw on the Killstar website. Killstar is a brand that does sort of like gothic metal stuff. And I saw this cardigan, and it was like this. It was these colors with the big chunk of black and around the black around the outside. And it was a big oversized cardigan. And as soon as I saw it, I loved it. But it was $50 or $60 American, plus shipping and taxes, and then the exchange rate. And that is a lot for a cardigan. So when I saw it sometime last year, I was like, well, I'll just wait and maybe it'll go on sale. If it goes on sale, maybe I'll buy it. But it sold out like right away. I guess everybody else loved it too. And it still is not back in stock. So I thought, well, it's not going to be exactly like the cardigan on Killstar, but it's the same colors. It's going to be similar. Yeah, and we'll see. So I'm pretty happy with how it's going. I haven't worked on this as much as I've worked on my blanket, because obviously the blanket's a lot easier. I'm not transitioning anything. It's the same one ball of yarn until I finish the ball of yarn. This is a little more in depth, but I am really enjoying it still. And we'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be stitched until it's 40 inches long, but of course I did change the needle size. So I will stitch until, well, no, if it's still size-wise, it still shouldn't work. But anyways, I'll stitch until it's 40 inches long and see how I like that for the length. And if not, it even says in the pattern, you know, if you want it longer, just make it longer, do more rows. So yeah, so we got that. I'm still going. My Michaels is, I got the last ball of this black yarn. It's the impeccable yarn from Michaels. I got the last ball, and I've been back to Michaels twice since then, and they still don't have any black yarn, at least of my Michaels. But so far I still have quite a bit. So I should be good for a little while, but I will have to keep going back. I know if I'm making a whole sweater, I'm going to need another ball probably. But yeah, so there you go. So that's everything I have worked on in the last 2 weeks-ish. So at the end, I have one more thing. At the end of my last video, I did my first giveaway, or well, I planned to do my first giveaway. So it is for, where did that go? Right here. The Plum Street the Plum Street Sampler, which is count twice, stitch once. Which is a very good motto to have, because I have a tendency to have to frog things because I'm not paying attention. Anyways, before I started filming, I used a online random comment picker for YouTube, and so the winner is Bronwyn Mayer. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Bronwyn Mayer. You can get in touch with me. My email address is Caitlin Todd, CaitlinTodd 83@gmail.com. I will put my email address down below. Let me know where I am sending this, and I will send it to you, and I hope that it doesn't take too long to arrive for you. So congratulations, Bronwyn. I'm going to do more giveaways because I do have some more patterns that I picked up on thrifting. And if I ever find any more, maybe we'll keep going with that. So thank you, everybody who watched. I really enjoy talking to you all. Oh, I should say another milestone for this week. I reached 300 subscribers. So I did do a little shit note on my Instagram. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. I can't believe still that there's 300 people who want to listen to me yammer on for however long these videos are. But yeah, I really appreciate it, and I'm really enjoying myself. I'm glad that I finally started this channel. I wanted to start it for a while, and in the beginning I was a little worried that I was going to be talking to basically no one, and I mean, it's still enjoyable to do, but it's nice to know that people want to hear what I say and want to see what I'm stitching. And I really enjoy all the people who have watched me here and then gone to follow me on Instagram. I love seeing what other people are stitching and knitting and working on, and all the other stuff that people do. So yeah, so leave me a comment, subscribe. You can click the notifications. I do try to drop a video at least every 2 weeks, although I am human and that doesn't always happen, but I've been pretty good so far, I'd say. Yeah, and follow me on Instagram at Cats and Horror and Stitching Oh My for more stuff related to all of the above. And let me know what you're watching too. This week, I've been watching The Last of Us, and I know it's all over the internet. Everybody's watching, well, not everybody, but The Last of Us has become really popular, and I binge watched the first 5 episodes, so I'm just waiting for the next episode to come out. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, let me know what you're watching. Let me know what you're stitching. Follow me, and I will see you back in a couple weeks, hopefully with a lot more progress and maybe with a little more variety in what I've worked on. So enjoy your February and stay warm. Bye.